Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is Gun Nation United here. My name is Credo, alongside my co-host Guns, as always. And today's special. We're talking about the one, the only, the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates himself, Captain Usopp. So, without further ado, let's roll the intro and get into it. Alright, after that lovely introduction, let's talk about the future king of the pirates, Captain Usopp, aka God Usopp, aka Sniper King, aka member of Sniper Island. Matter of fact, the king of Sniper Island. So, as you know, Usopp is the sniper / captain of the Straw Hat Pirates and a former captain of the Usopp Pirates. And he was born in Starw Village, where he was first mentioned. And his father is actually, I think it's Yamsoff. So yeah, he was actually part of the red-haired pirates by Captain Shanks, aka Emperor Shanks. Despite growing up, father, he basically grew up with a crazy imagination, and of course we all know the introduction. He was spreading lies, and he was telling it to the girl there, the princess there, and blah 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 blah. Basically, cried wolf. Luffy came in, saved the day, and then he joined the Straw Hats crew and pretty much worked his way up to the captain, as we all know today, and eventually a god during the Dressrosa arc, which we'll get to. So, obviously, his weapon of choice is the lovely slingshot, which, again, I can't remember the name. Can't think of the name of the actual slingshot. It's kind of embarrassing. Probably should have done my research better. Oh, all right. He uses a slingshot, and he's a Sniper King. During the time skip era, he actually went to this island and was trained under the alias Usopp. Great alias name, by the way. Usopp. But anyway, trained under that name and basically evolved his slingshot and evolved his style to more plant-like stuff, to where he can now slingshot not only the original stuff before the time skip, like pre-time skip era, but he can also do plant stuff such as slinging stuff to make a trampoline, slinging stuff to make man-eating plants, stuff like that. And actually his biggest accomplishment, and the reason he has the bounty that he does, is I'm sure everybody's aware of the Usopp versus Sugar fight during Dressrosa. And by the way, obviously this video contains spoilers, but if you clicked on it, you should have known that. So now's your time to leave. But anyway, during the Dressrosa arc, Captain Usopp officially became a god, because what was basically going on was during, like, the island of Dressrosa was being controlled and manipulated by Sugar, who was turning, well, it wasn't just Sugar, but she was using her Devil Fruit powers to manipulate people and turn them into toys. So basically, she would use power to turn them into toys. She would make a contract with them, and they were binded by that contract. And the only way to turn it back was to knock out Sugar. And so, of course, there was multiple battles going on, but during his battle to turn the toys back into humans, so that way they could help out Luffy and Frankie and everybody else, he actually, he was fighting her, and obviously one of the funniest things happens. So he was basically getting his ass beat, which he was pretending, of course, because nobody could beat Captain Usopp. And the plan was to make her eat this grape that had been laced with spicy stuff, right? So she was going to eat it. Her mouth was going to get on fire because it was so hot, and because of the shock, she was going to get knocked out. But what actually happened is Usopp let her beat her, and this is the genius behind this character. He let her beat her, and then when she went to go put it in Usopp's mouth, and his face got all crazy, she got freaked out and got knocked out. And because of that, his current bounty is of 200 million berries, which is a huge jump from his original one, and which was, let's see if I can find it in my notes. Yeah, so it jumped up from 30 million to 200 million, which, pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty high up there. I would say that's a pretty good status for the god. He's up there with some of the highest bounties for the new generation. And he's also Soul King was the other name, in case anybody was wondering. So, but like I said, everybody pretty much knows the story who's watched One Piece. But he's also in his main battle with Sugar, which spiked his bounty up. But obviously, he's been in more battles, such as the Water 7. He helped out Zoro to help him out when they were facing the Giraffe Dude, and he handcuffed himself to Zoro. He also helped out during the Fishman Island stuff, where he went up against a Fishman who had the ability to turn himself into a charging fireball. And when he actually ran towards Usopp, catched a part of Usopp's leg, Usopp slaying several shots at him. So that was another good one. Usopp and Chopper versus Mr. Fuller and Miss Merry Christmas during the Alabasta arc was another good fight. Again, using his signature weapon, slingshots, and Chomper to do it. And if I remember correctly, he basically, to beat them, he hit him with a final blow with a slingshot hammer. Because, yes, he can turn his slingshot into a hammer. Who knew? Ladies and gentlemen, that is a work of a god. That is why they call him God Usopp. Also, another one of pretty much an emotional fight, but so changing the mood from the lighthearted, funny stuff, his funny feats. He actually ended up losing this battle, but again, it's emotional, and there was a lot of good strategy involved in it. And that is when he faced. Can anybody guess it? Yeah, that's right. When he fought Luffy during the Water 7 arc. So everybody knows it was a tearful showdown against, again, Usopp and Luffy. Usopp being the true captain of Straw Hat Pirates, and Luffy being the wannabe captain of the Straw Hat Pirates. Essentially, they were fighting over the status of the Goemeri, because the Goemeri was messed up, and they couldn't fix it. So Luffy wanted to get another ship. Usopp did not want to part with the Goemeri, and of course, they got into the famous Usopp versus Luffy battle. Well, how does this tie into his strategy and his slingshot? Well, he challenged Luffy to a duel, and I mean, again, Luffy ultimately defeated Usopp, but Usopp used a lot of strategies, and he was able to, without going nitty-gritty into the battle, because that's not what this video is about. This video, again, is just a general outline of his fighting styles. He obviously at this point he had knew Luffy pretty well and for a long time, and so he used Luffy's strategies against him, and he had an upper hand for a little bit. Again, Luffy was going easy on him. Luffy really didn't want to do anything until the end, which is when it ended, but he had some good strategies. He's able to learn the opponent's strategies and use them to his disadvantage, which again is why they call him Sniper King, God, whatever you want to call him. So, but I would say during his time with the Straw Hat Pirates that he has definitely gotten braver and manipulate his strategy. I mean, I don't really know how else to say it. He uses a slingshot. He's the Sniper King. Pretty sure what everybody in the entire world knows what a slingshot is and how it works. He's smart. He's clever. He uses his opponent's strategies against him. He learns it, and he fires his slingshot and never misses. So.
Yeah. Usopp is the best pirate in One Piece. And he's the best marksman.
I mean, obviously I don't even know why. Big spoilers over here, so won't spoil too much. But all I'm gonna say is, Usopp versus Cairo. Like, I think we all know who the clear winner is here. Okay, why build an alliance when you could just? I mean, literally, why build an alliance when you could just send in Usopp? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's like Usopp is now. Rest in peace. Before I say this, but in all seriousness,
Spoiler.
he is. Huh?
Spoiler, by the way.
But no. I wasn't going with that. I was gonna say, rest in peace. But he is the Chris Kyle of One Piece.
Yeah.
One shot, one kill. So, and not to mention he's also smart and really smart, and he's really good with his hands. And somebody's going to take that the wrong way. What I mean by that is he's clever and coming up with not only strategy but weapons as well. Being able to modify his slingshot several times throughout the series, along with Nami's weapon. I forget what it's called. I'm sure all the One Piece fans are going to roast me, but the Nami's main weapon that he gave her during the Alabasta arc that can control the weather. But
If you couldn't tell by...
I'm sorry. I just have to say too, before I forget, I hate to interrupt you guys. Just this last thing for all the diehard One Piece fans, Usopp had one of the best moments in this lobby arc, where he shot down a certain flag. Just leave it at that. Sorry about got guns. Go ahead and continue, good sir.
Well, if you couldn't tell by... Usopp uses slingshot. If you couldn't tell by now, or if you haven't watched. And if you haven't watched the anime, why you watch?
Yeah. Well, I mean, now is the perfect time to watch the anime. Just saying.
Yeah. But he uses a slingshot. From what I could find, all the shots he made in the show, or at least most, are not possible. Because the slingshot is effective. I mean, it will hit hard at 25 feet. I mean, you can shoot it further, which is about 50 feet. But
Which, for those of you, just to help everybody out, for those of you in other countries, 25 feet is about 7.5 meters, and 50 feet is about 15.2 meters. So what you're saying, Guns, is it's not possible.
What I'm saying is, yeah, it's not possible. Because even the world record for the force behind slingshot is 135 joules, or 90 or 100 foot-pounds of energy, and that's max. That's a world record.
What about his I mean, I already know the answer, but just for shits and giggles, I know he doesn't have. I know he has a bigger version of the slingshot. You know, like he has a bigger one. Um, with it being that big, would it would make a difference?
It would depend how big it is. If it was like a 6 foot slingshot, yeah, I could go further because the one is longer. You pull the string further.
Right. Well, let's just say, yeah, we'll go with 6 foot, right? We'll say a 6 foot slingshot, right? Um, how much further are we talking? Like, oh, is it still not going to be enough to make those shots?
I'd say it'd be enough to make most of it. Not any of these super crazy shots. Yeah. Well, it depends how big the projectile.
So let's take the famous shot where he faced Daddy, the bounty hunter, where he had to
Yes.
shoot the whale. Wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Not with the slingshot he was using. Unless it was closer than the animal let us believe.
I would say, yeah, I would say it was pretty far away.
Yeah.
I would say that shot was definitely far away, and when he, and that's not even the longest shot that he
Yeah.
took neither. I would say off the top of my head, again, this is off the top of my head. Somebody can roast me in the comments if I'm wrong. But off the top of my head, from what I remember of his fights, again, I would say his longest shot was against Sugar, because after he took her down the first time, she was gonna turn Law and Luffy. You know, she got up and she recovered, and she was gonna turn Law and Luffy into toys, and he shot he shot at her pretty far. Like, we're talking far enough to where he couldn't even see the target, you know? Like, it was way out of eyesight. And not only was it out of eyesight, but the target was also in a building. So the building was barely in eyesight. Or the building was in eyesight, but the window he was shooting for was barely in eyesight, let alone a target through the building, if that gives you any context. If we're talking about eyesight. So
I mean, if you can get lucky, you could make a shot, but again, you have to do it at a high angle.
well, no, he was. Let's see if I remember correctly.
I mean, if you're looking straight
He
forward and you try to shoot it with the slingshot, then you're not hit it.
yeah, no, it wasn't at a high angle.
You weren't gonna hit it because even if you did it at a high angle, you probably could hit it, but all it's gonna do is just bounce.
Right.
Because even though it would have gravity pulling it down, it still wouldn't have the strength to go through the.
But then again, Usopp does have the strength. I mean, have you seen his finger
It's not
strength?
Usopp. It's not Usopp's strength. Speed,
Yeah.
projectile.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, have you seen Usopp's pinky? Like, that's some real finger strength, okay?
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, basically, in a nutshell, his fighting style uh, is possible. Obviously, anybody can pick up a slingshot and shoot it and get really good and accurate with it. The problem is those crazy shots we all have come to love. Now, if we're talking about the ammunition guns, what do you have on us? Because we went over the slingshot. We obviously know that slingshot is technically possible, but it's not possible with the shots he's taken. What about the ammunition he's using? What about, throwing explosives at people and man-eating plants and stuff like that? With, let's say, like a 6-foot slingshot.
Most would still be a ball. So, I mean, maybe in the future you could have a tiny explosive or something in the ball.
So what you're saying is, from your knowledge, you can't think of a ball packed of explosives that you'd be able to shoot.
Yeah.
Let alone a man-eating plant.
Yeah.
Although it would be cool just to, somebody pisses you off, you just slingshot a man-eating plant at them. All right, folks. Well, all right. I'm sorry, Guns. Did you have anything? Oh, Guns. Why don't you tell them? I mean, obviously, we've established that it is somewhat possible. The problem would just be the type of ammunition that he's using in the show and the distance from some of his shots.
Yeah.
But why don't we get into some funny stuff before we wrap it up? You want to tell them some of the crazy facts you found about slingshots?
In the U.S., it's called a slingshot. Everyone knows what a slingshot is. In the UK, they call it a catapult. And in Australia and New Zealand, they call it a ging. Ging. They also call it Shanghai. And
Very
in
weird.
South Africa, they call it a... So, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Didn't you say it was banned somewhere too? Like the slingshot was banned?
Oh, yeah. In New York City, you can't own a slingshot.
Illegal.
Yep.
All you delinquent kids in New York can't own a slingshot. Gonna get arrested. Gonna get those shiny bracelets.
Yep.
Well, Guns, yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up, Bit Dog. You have anything else you wanna add to yours?
No.
No. Beautiful. Yeah. In conclusion, and I think Guns can agree, slingshots obviously they exist in real life. So yes, you can too become a God Usopp. Problem is though, again, distance and ammunition. You can shoot a slingshot all you want, but you're not going to be shooting a slingshot with explosives, and you're not going to be shooting slingshots where man-eating plants come out to eat your opponent's head off. You're not going to be shooting seeds inside somebody, and then a plant's going to grow in them and pop out like in the movie Alien. So, but you can shoot a slingshot, just not in New York, which is funny too. I don't mean to make any fun of anybody, but I could just imagine like in the UK, they're shooting like what we call slingshots, and what are they called? Catapult, you said?
Yeah.
So, and then we actually use like a full-on catapult, which I know is essentially a bigger version of the slingshot, but I'm just picturing them using like a slingshot, and we're using like these giant catapults.
Yep.
Which again, catapult's a big slingshot. I see the connection before anybody says anything. It's just what popped in my head. Okay, leave me alone. I'm sensitive. All right. Enough of that. Yeah. Wraps up the conclusion. Wraps off Sniper King, God Usopp, Captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, whatever you want to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, weaves and weavelets, women and gentle women, we have been your lovely host tonight. My name is Creator. This knucklehead is Guns. And remember the golden rule. Keep your ammo hot and your beer ice cold. There better be lean linging in the fridge. Like I said, Gun Nation United, you guys stay safe, and we'll see you next time.